Hello, and welcome to the Yellow Wall India podcast.
Okay. We're recording, right? Yeah. All right. Hello and welcome back to the Yellow Wall India podcast. It's been quite a while since we last connected, so good to see you all. And today we have two very special guests from the Yellow Wall India family. So we have Chirag. So, Chirag, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Chirag. I'm 22. I started to follow Borussia Dortmund in 2013 during the Malaga match. It was me and my cousin watching it together. But I didn't follow Dortmund quite a while back then. I started to following when Royce came on the FIFA cover. I was quite shocked, like who is this BB player who came on the came means broke the record, right? Like it was just only Messi and Ronaldo and all other players. So I was
Yeah.
quite impressed. Then I got to follow. It was also my friend. He was even watching BVB, and so he told me it's a really great club. So from that onwards, I means watched a lot of football matches, and I have been in touch with Dortmund since 2019-20 continuously. Like I watch almost every football match, and hey Jabi Babi.
That's such a good thing to hear because if Costa would remember, even my instinct into Dortmund happened after the Malaga game. I think so many fans have come into Dortmund after watching that particular match. It was
Yeah.
so magical. All right, moving on to our second guest, we have Basim, who's I guess from Kerala, right, Basim?
Yeah, I'm from Kerala.
All right. Can you introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Mohammed Basim coming from Kerala, and yeah, my name is I'm 21. And talking about how I became a Borussia.
Did Basim lose audio?
So talking about how I became a Borussia fan, I have to thank Jadon Sancho because he was the man. When we signed Sancho from the City, like after entering in the match, like after being a sub, being named a super sub for within the 1 or 2 matches, Bundesliga made a YouTube small video about Jadon Sancho. Like that struck me like what a player he was. He used such skills at a young age and scoring goals and banging some assists in a few top leagues at that time. So I started like moving on to become a Sancho fan. Then I realized that the club in which he plays, which is larger than larger, it's like something else, just not a player or something. It's about the club and about the fan. Afterwards, just moving from Sancho fan, I just became a Borussia fan within like after watching 1 or 2 games of Borussia and seeing the yellow wall, like every fan on that like jumping together and singing, and that struck me very much. And then onwards, from the 2018, I think 18 onwards now, there's no club, there's nothing in my mind, only Borussia, and that's it. Yeah,
All right, that's really interesting. I think what you mentioned about the yellow wall, three of us have never witnessed it, but Kostav has. So Kostav is the lucky one out here who's actually been to Germany to see a game.
Yeah, just before COVID struck. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, since this is the first time we are connecting in this season, I think might be useful if we first reflect on how this season has been so far in general. So, Costa, would you like to add some light to that? And like specifically, if you want to talk about Marco Rosa.
Yeah, I think so. The season, I think so, got summed up in the last game for what everyone saw. But I think so, there are things which are yet to be done, and still things which are required to be lifted. Marco Rose, I think so. is still not able to express the game style which he wants to. We are not looking or seeing the things which we expect from him, maybe because of the injuries or the squad is not what he wants. So still there are a lot of things left, and let's hope the stadium gets filled a bit, because club has put in the legal proceedings to have the fans back. So Dortmund deserves that. It thrives on that. And otherwise, yes, I think so. We are winning the away games more than what we were winning last times as well. But still, there are those inconsistent patches which keeps on coming, which defines Dortmund always, and which we all are pretty used to now. So I think that those things have to be stopped now. Consistency is the key, and defense is leaking too many goals. 60 goals, close to 60 goals is a lot. So that is one thing which has to be considered, and injury. So these two things
Yeah.
have to be considered. This is how it is right now. Let's hope this season gets over now. Pretty soon we have good things coming up. Hopefully things can change then.
Yeah, I mean, I guess as far as I remember, this was one of the best winter break point score that we've had in quite a while. So reflecting back, a lot has gone well, but like, on the same hand, a lot has gone bad as well. So for me, this entire season has been like a mixed bag of emotions where like I am not one to engage in the Terzic versus Rosa argument. I still feel Marco Rosa deserves his time, and like he's doing a good job. But yeah, we'll have to see and be more patient with this entire project that has started. Chirag, quickly your thoughts on the same.
Yeah, like Rose has convinced me. Like I see means most of the times, like I go and pause the match and I see like what he's trying to do. I see like most, like we always talk about, right? Like Rose is used to have a diamond formation, but it's not that. Like in most of the matches, we are using the 4-3-3 formation. The 4-2-1-2-1-2 formation is means hardly used in 3 matches, and we have lost one. So I see what he's trying to do. He's means there are defensive problems, but I don't see Rose is the mistake. I am seeing it's completely a mentality issue. Means there are several silly mistakes by the player which are not acceptable. Means like last match in the Leverkusen match, the first goal, Zagadou should have stopped that. Man, like it's not acceptable. So I'm convinced by Rose. Like I'm convinced by the project. And yesterday's signing was really nice, Sule. So let's hope. I guess we will do
Yes,
great. And
we'll get to
consistency
that.
will come. Consistency will come. We should have that hope. We can't lose hope, right? So that's it
Yeah,
from my side.
yeah, absolutely. And Basim, your thoughts on the same as well, quickly.
The first season starting, Roger injected some real like confidence on our players. But now I think the players are not that much confident on the games. And one of the biggest mistake I see from Rose is that Borussia Dortmund is like the team which plays counter-attacking football for a long time. We have been known for that, the high pressing and high counter-attacking mentality of our players and our team. That was really known by every match. But now Rose has just shifted the system from like stop counter-attacking. We can possess the ball and we can attack with the high possession. Because I think that's not the correct way how Borussia works. We have seen many coaches, but even in the last season, when Terzic came on, he was using the same tactics, just counter attack and score goals from the counter attack. Like that's what BVB is known for. But now we have been missing that counter attacking. Even when the counter attacking position is over there and there's a big chance, our players is like, come on, let's do like, come on, let's just process the game, slow down the game, and just go on. But there are so many good from like most like a tiki taka games can be seen, like the last match on our cup game against, what was the team name that we lost for 2-1, the last
St.
game,
Pauli.
cup game.
And Paul, yeah.
Yeah, St. Pauli. against Empoli, I just like wonder like wow, what a game! Like actually we are playing, we are just passing through their players, and like their players are just just staying around. They can't move anyone. We are passing like that. The ball is like going all around the field like so many times, and we have been passed like almost 800 pass plus that game, but still no goals came. There's not even good attacks has been there, and at last what we lost. But so it's not all about passing, and I think he should change back to the system of counter attacking. That would be great.
I guess one of the problems with
Okay.
counter-attacking has been the lack of, I think, majorly Jadon Sancho. As you mentioned, he's your
Yeah.
favorite player. So that style suited Sancho and pacey players like Sancho a lot. As of now, that position is not really filled with. I mean, I don't know. I'd still say Marlon is still fitting into the squad and is not
No,
completely in his rhythm. So
Malmo is not a Sancho
maybe.
replacement. Everyone can assure that. We should have signed something with someone else, or should have given enough more playing time. I think now we deserve more playing time. About like
Hmm,
how he played against Manchester City, we have seen on last year. He's a good kid,
yeah.
good talent, but still we loaned him.
All right, so with that, we move on to the next topic, which is the disastrous game we had this weekend, the game versus Leverkusen. So much to take away from that game. So rather than going on individual comments, we'll just have this like a discussion so we can just get through with this pain. So according to me, uh, like Rosa mentioned, we were never in the game from the first whistle till the last. I think the entire rhythm, the entire mindset was completely missing. And there were blunders, like Chirag mentioned. And I think we were just blundering defensively. So, uh, yeah, that's one of the major takeaways that I had from the game. Would love to hear from you guys.
I think so Chirag should talk more about it. He'd love to talk about it.
So, like Sujay mentioned that we were very bad defensively. We were not, though, not at all good attacking wise. So, like, yesterday, like, I saw two things. Like, we always build up from the back, right? Like when we start from the back, the ball goes from Gregor Kobel, it passes to the left center back, then it goes to the left back. Rafa Guerrero, we believe in him that he will do some trickery and he will pass the ball to Dawood and it goes to Holland. That is our playing style, majorly playing style. But like in the total game, I don't think we had any one aerial pass. Why don't we do that? Right. So my point is like players should know, right? Like if we are building from the back, means players should sense like yesterday I saw that when the ball came to Zagadou, there were 5 players covering him back. The thing he should do is straight away pass to Munir. He didn't do that. He passed it to Mohammed Dawood. Then Mohammed Dawood gave it back to him. And Dawood even said, pass it to Gregor Kobe. He didn't do that. He was pressurized. And ultimately it was a goal. It was a silly goal that means I can't comprehend. And yesterday I saw Rafa was very poor. Like I see him as a great player. All right. We all know how good Rafa is. We can't blame him. There is something missing. Like he always like he gives the ball to Jude, then he overlaps the winger, and then we play back. That wasn't done. Every time we try to do it, it was a mistake. We lost the ball. And third, Price did good. Sometimes even why is even at our club? Like he's so good to be true. Remember, like each and every pass hitting the mark. Okay, now we know that he's not attackingly that good, but without the ball, he has just raised his levels like anything at all. And I would say that it was a very horrible day for all of us, but we always come back. This result was expected. Yes, in the previous fixture, it was 4-3. So, so I think Leverkusen found all our mistakes. Means the main mistake is we are deliberately pressuring us ourselves. We shouldn't do it. Means it's because the thing we used in 4-3-3, it's not. We should not be pressurized. We should play offensively. And that's it from us. And if I go on, it will go until night. I know. So let's move on to others. All right.
All right, Costa, your thoughts on the game?
I think so. I agree with what Chirag was saying. We are doing too many passes. We try to be very cute all the time, and it doesn't work. And we need good support to Jude as well. I think so. Jude needs someone at the middle. You can't be just depending on him. He's the guy who is most tackled in the league. So there's too much work which is there. He's making the runs. He's doing everything. Mo is getting that leverage of creating. But we need a guy who's backing him up. And Gio was also absent for a long time. So was Zagadou. So I think so. Putting both of them suddenly in any game, we can't expect much. And Zagadou has that thing that he always lags the consistency, and so does this season. Rafa has also been similar to that. He hasn't been good this season for us, so we are too much dependent on Rafa. And center Zagadou is the one who I think so has not been consistent pretty good whenever we have given him chance. So still he needs to improve and work on himself. I think the coach still trusts him. But let's see, things are now changing quickly, so would be interesting to see how things goes. But Basim, you tell, do you see anything which you feel is to be required to be changed anywhere in the attacking side? Defense we all know, but sometimes I feel sad for Kobel as well. But attacking wise, what do you feel? What is missing?
On the attacking, we have been trying to attack, but the thing was like Leverkusen defended us really well. They're all the time when we are attacking, all the players were on the defending line, like just like not like a parking bus, but they have been all around their defense. So we can move through their playing areas. So like their half is completely under their control, and we can't even move through them. So it's not the problem with our attack. I think it's mostly with the that their pressuring and Leverkusen's defense was applausible. They should be appreciated for that. They have been doing a good defensive work against us. And but still, the game was everyone can say the game was mainly we lost because of the defense. And I think the main reason for that was missing Hummels and Witzel. I can say Witzel has been in the bad form in the season. I know, but still, if that guy was there instead of Julian Brandt or Modahoud, he will be stood on the defensive line. So there will be less ball coming through. Like when Zaga got pressured, he can pass to the Witzel will be on a free position. Everyone can see Witzel never get pressured. He will be on a free line position and he can pass to the ball to the literally to anyone. He will never miss the ball from his side. So if we had Witzel in our starting 11, I think that 5 goals won't be there. We won't consider like 5 goals. But still we will lose that for that's 100% because the mentality of the team on that game wasn't that good. But if Witzel was there, I think we will only consider like 2 or 3 goals. And also Hummels was missing. And we know he's like doing some big errors in the last previous games. Still, he is the pillar. He is the pillar of our defense. We can say that. We can say that. Of course, he is the pillar who's to like doing the impossible tackles at the right time, and he will be always there, even though he's slow. But if these two players was I'm sure that we won't be lost like this, and that's all.
Yeah, I guess, like Costa mentioned, Jude has been under a lot of pressure and he's been doing a lot of work for the team in the midfield. Uh, I guess now we're expecting Giorena to be back in some capacity. So that's going to be some work lifted off his shoulders. But I don't know. Let's see. It's going to be a very interesting few games that are going to come up. So, with that, we'll just move on to the next topic. which is a very interesting topic. That this is Zorc's perhaps his last season. He has left, I guess, one of the most legendary careers behind, and the kind of things that he's done at this club is phenomenal. So first of all, like I would, uh, people are fans of the players, the stadium, the environments. I, for one, would like to say I'm a big fan of Zorc. Like the kind of work that he has pulled in the past few seasons has been absolutely wonderful. And now we're passing that torch to Sebastian Kehl. So a lot of good things are about to happen at the club. What direction do you feel that Kale is headed in, especially with the new signing of Sule? So we'll get Kostab's input on this first, and then maybe we can get Chirag and then Basim.
I think so. I'll just add that is people say that his statue should be there in the stadium. So it's time that it is made a reality and should be there installed. He has done a lot. He's in and out in Dortmund. Won the UCL and then also coached in between as well when required. He's been there. He even extended the contract for a year. Not many people would really exit on their terms. They'll either be going because of the other reasons, not because of their own terms. So I think so. This is one good thing about Zorc, that he's still thinking about the club, that he sees that his time, that he gives it to someone else, and he has done it pretty smoothly. He has a good support. Kale, I think so, is someone who can really work and would be interesting to see. I think so. I had my doubts, I'll say honestly, about Sebastian Kale because he was still new and he as a player is proven his leadership skills, but behind the play when you have to work, it's very different ball game working with agents and the players and managing that relationship. So if Sule's transfer Kale has played a role, then it's something which shows everyone, I think so, that what we can expect, and this was unexpected even from Bayern. Wasn't expecting that Sule will go. As I was reading, it was said that he was someone Bayern didn't know till the last minute. So I think so. This is interesting to know, but yes, I think it's in right direction. Management needs a reshuffle, fresh ideas. I think so. It's lost somewhere in between. So this is a good step. But let's see how it goes. Till summer has a lot of things left in us. So let's see. I'll say that it's one step in the right direction. What do you think, Chirag? Yeah.
I think we're gonna have a very explosive summer transfer window this season with a lot of outs and a lot of wins also.
It should be the
Okay. Yeah. So like first of all, I would like to start that Sebastian Kehl has been in Dortmund since 2001. He retired as a player in 2015. Like Klopp went and he even went, right. So after that, he was on the track to become the sporting director. First of all, I agree with everyone. Michael Zorc should have a statue in front of Signal Iduna. Man bleeds Dortmund, no doubt about it. And to be honest, like I would like to change our club's motto from like basically it's a superficial, like we are a stepping stone club, right? But we don't want to be that. Like with the signing of Nicolas Sule, it seems like we will go in the right direction. And the second signing, most speculated signing, is Karim Adami. Personally, I don't want him because we don't know which club he will go next. But Sule was outstanding. Like, means it was we got confirmation in about 1 to 2 hours, right? Like I remember yesterday in the afternoon we were talking about it, and by the evening it was finalized, right? Like that FR guy from Frankfurt reported it. So, and then what else? I suppose he will do great things. He will do good signings. And with the speculations like Nico's quarterback, Karim Adami, and now Nicolas Sule, So the big question mark remains our Erling Haaland, who it will be replaced with. I don't see anyone right now because Europe, like it suggests that Europe is out of prolific strikers right now. Like there aren't much strikers. Like even Dusan Vlahovic was like the last one of the remaining. So, but we always find a way, right? Means it shouldn't be a great name. Like we have seen it earlier. Like it was Michi Batshuayi and the greatest of all Paco Alcacer. Who knew he would be such good, right? So
Yeah,
we will
yeah.
find a way. Dortmund never has a problem with the strikers. So
I
I hope for
think
the best.
I think in the next season, if Mukoku is given enough chances,
Yeah,
that's also a very
Mukoko.
good prospect.
Yeah. He's even
So
demanding, he's hungry. Like he's saying, give me time, I need
yeah,
to play. So let's see what Mukoko does and
yeah,
hope for the best. That's it.
yeah. Basim, your thoughts on this?
About Niklas Sule, yesterday, like when we have confirmed, like I have been in tears. Like, is this really my club? Signing as such a player from Bayern Munich is a giant, and we are signing him like a 26-year-old. It's so it's rare. Like we have signed like Thomas Müller and Torgan Hazard in the near past years, like about 25. But still, this is only happens as a rare case. And Niklas Sule, I think he is a giant player. I have there's been memes like he's the shark moving through the crowded small fishes. Like he's such a player. He's so big and so good on the defense and doing good tackles and on physically. Physically is unbeatable. Even Haaland just being carried out by him. Even his one push is enough for Haaland. Like that he's that strong and it's like 195, 196 and that's all. So we can use him really good if Rose know how to use him. I believe in Rose that he will be doing good. And about the future signing, I think I don't know. I haven't like even though we are strongly connected to Adeyemi, I haven't seen him play. Like even I don't like the YouTube videos or I don't check that much on Adeyemi, so I don't know critically about that player. But on the shorter I think he is one of the best centre back candidates for us if Akanji is leaving. So we can consider Sule as an Akanji replacement because we already need a Hummels replacement here. So Sule can only be Hummels replacement. If the Akanji is leaving, I think we need shoulder back. And on defensive midfield, we want someone who can hold the ball like for a Mitchell replacement. These three are must, and I'm sure. I think Haaland case he will be leaving this our club in the next summer. For from his last comment, it's been almost made sure. I think after that comment from him, even I just lost the touch with him. Like I was always like we have Haaland, the giant is here, so he can score any goals like anyone. But now I lost that feel. I lost that touch after saying like even he's a great player. He shouldn't have said that terms like against Borussia. Even against our club. Club is always above the player. Then so we need a replacement for even Adeyemi is coming. I think Adeyemi can only be a Sancho replacement after 1 year. But if Haaland is leaving, I don't know who to sign. But just like Chirag said, we don't have any issues. We never had any issues with the striker. We will find the right striker in the next year, I think. But I'm sure Haaland departure will earn us a not a little much. It will earn a more. So I think we can really rebuild the team in the next season. But still, there are hope for this season. We are like 9 points below Bayern, but still, this is football. Anything can happen. There's still hope that the title will come to Forgettable in this season. But let's see, wait and see what will happen. And about Zorc,
Yeah,
yeah, even when the Zorc playing time in Borussia, even I wasn't even born. But from the stories, from the videos, or from the articles I have read, Zoki is like one of the best attackers we ever had, and the best. He's one of the best in for Borussia Dortmund. Even every players in our current team or the past team, when they have to choose the best 5A side, best 11A side, or 11 best team, they always select Zoki in their team. So that shows how important he was for our team. And as a FD, what he have done in the past years is remarkable. He just before the two titles, back-to-back titles on 12 and 13, and of course signing Klopp from an from the second division. Like he just signed him, and after that was the best coach sign. I can say I can confirm that everyone can say that. Klopp was the best signed manager on the last 10 years, and he did that greatly. And also everything he did, and even if he wasn't there, we will be bankrupt. There will be no doubt for that. He done the signings at the right time, but still, for the last 2 years, I don't think he had done his job in the quite well way. But still, we have signed Haaland by him, and yeah, but I think Kehl will be a good. Kehl will perform more better than Zorc. I think. Yeah, I believe so. So then only it will be good for our club. Whatever happens, let it be good for our club. That's all.
Yeah, I think to sum it all up, I think Zorc has laid the correct groundwork for Sebastian Kehl to take it up. So a lot of interesting things are going to come up this season, and hopefully we have like an explosive summer window because, as Basim said, I also agree. I think Erling Haaland is going to leave this season, and those amount of finances are good enough to build a strong team. So we have a lot to look up to. And with that, we'll just move on to our last topic for the day, which is injuries. Things that have ridden us since ages now. I mean, I don't think in our current squad we have even a single player who's not been injured in the past 6-7 months. You know, yeah, injuries and how they've been affecting us from the past couple of seasons in an extremely negative and annoying way. Before talking about my own thoughts on this, I would first like to get Basim's thought. So, Basim.
On the perspective of injury, we can blame our medical team for that area because I'm a medical student, so I will have to support them. And I think our medical team has done a great job on preventing injuries of Marco Reus. And like they've been taking care of him for the last few years. And now Reus is playing injury free for the past 2 years. It's a really a good point. And we all know that the 2019 league title was just lost just by missing Marco Reus. If he was there, if their captaincy was there, we would have been win the title. We lost for 1 point at that season. And at that time, if Reus was there, we would have win. But after that season, Reus hasn't got injured because I think our medical team has taken a good care of him. And his complete rehabilitation was from Dortmund. He hadn't taken like a trip to Qatar or Dubai like Haaland and Sancho did on the past years. But he just stood on the, he just put his faith on our medical team, and now look at him, he's completely recovered and he's completely playing injury free. And I think he have modified his playing style, and there have been less of the views we have. We can see the same views before the 2017 afterwards now. Like he has played his playing style, he has changed his playing style, but still he's playing injury free, and our medical team has done a great job on him. But on the current team, we have seen like every player being injured on a short time. Even when Malan came in, he just played one or two games and missed the other 2 games due to injury. Then he played like 4 games, then he lost the other game. He can't play in the other match for like some sort of infection. And like every player is missing 1 or 2 games in a even when they have to play 4 games consistently. So there are some issues, but still don't know what is the actual problem. But I can't completely blame on the medical team. As I said, I'm also in the medical profession, so I can completely blame. But there will be a chance for like the injury can occur mostly from the training, over stressed training, and due to like lack of strength, lack of lack of physicality. That will be one of the main reasons. lack of physicality and we can see on not comparing with Bayern, but looking at Bayern, they have less injuries to consider to us compared to us. Like their members are like physically that strong. We can look up to Lewandowski or Goretzka. They are physically that much strong. Even Sule is that strong, but he will be our players in next season. That is so very great. But our players' physical strength is another point. I am not saying that they have to be muscular, but they have to be more strong. For that, they have to decrease the running training and just like put up some weight training into them, which can I think on my perspective it can help the team on making them strong. But I don't know actually what's coming up the recurrent injuries, but you can't completely blame on the team and completely blame on the coaching team and like everything. There are some spelling mistakes which I think it will be all clear in the next season or soon. Even there's a new fitness member, like the person who's the reason for Haaland's fast return, and he has joined our team. So I think the problems will be sorted off in the next coming weeks, and it will be all clear.
All right, that was great. I think I asked Basim to go on this first because he comes from this field of work and he understands this much better than all of us do. So, Chirag, what are your thoughts on this?
I would like, I don't want to blame anyone here, but if we see the output like this season, I would say that our medical team has not done good. But anyways, like all of the teams in the Europe were suffering from injuries. Last season it was Liverpool, if you see, and then in the previous season it was Man City. Every season it goes on, but I don't see that these many recurring injuries happened with us with a long time. Like in the previous season, only Royce or Hummels, it was these two who were suffering a lot. But this season, apart from these two, all others are suffering. So I don't want to blame anyone here, but it was a rough patch, I would say, and it is almost went away. And I don't think that the Holland trainer has joined us, but I read it somewhere that he didn't join us, right? Like in RN it came or something. But and that Qatar thing, like Holland and Sancho went there because of COVID. I think so. There is not means nothing more special is there in Qatar. Everything that we get in our medical team is the same thing. But I think it was just due to COVID. These two guys went over there for special treatment and something else. I don't know the complete story. And I would suggest that it's a rough patch and it will go away. We should not blame anyone here. That medical team, we all know it's very complex thing and we should not get much into it. So, and that's it. And I think we will do good. That's it from my side.
So I'll quickly put in my thoughts as well. I guess the past couple of seasons have been rough for us, like Chirag mentioned. Earlier it was Royce and Hummels, and now it's everyone but Royce and Hummels. So yeah, I think when Rosa came on board, he made some changes to the medical team. So he was addressing things in the right direction. And my only hope is that this work is continuous and it doesn't stop, so that next season things are even better than this one. And you all mentioned that injuries have been a problem for other clubs as well, be it Liverpool or Man City or other clubs like that. uh, i I just hope that one, we have a strong bench so that even if our players are injured to some capacity, we have someone covering up for them. And so, like we can say that we have Stefan Teges or Mukoku for Haaland, but how much game time do they get? And if we start putting them in place of Haaland in like one game instantly, how much output can we expect from them? So that's one thing that I expect uh, the club to work on, so that these replacements become much stronger. And yeah, that's all from me. Costa?
I would like to add one thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
like you said that the club should work on it. You're right, no worries. But we are relying on very young players. It's Stefan Tigges and Yusuf Mukoko. They haven't been experienced, right? So, like,
Right.
if you see about Manchester United, they have Cavani, who is completely experienced. We even had Paco Alcacer, who was 27 or 28 at that time. He was experienced. So, I think we should get some players at that range. We should not, like, if it's a sub, we should not really depend on a young player, right? So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Tigges
Costa?
wouldn't be. I agree. Tigges, I don't see him anywhere. Like a player who can create an impact, and players who can create an impact, we aren't giving them that much time right now. So that's different game altogether. But I think so. It's interesting that. But earlier also, when I see the older team, I don't know, Basim is more experienced in this field that we saw. I think so. Physicality is one thing, but injuries were there to Ikea Gundogan and with us as well. But he has gone to City, and I don't see him injured. And he's been continuously playing for them, except that first season when he went from Dortmund, he got injured for a long time. But after that, I have not seen him injured. So diet plays a good role. I think so. One thing good we have done is that we have the dietitian now with us, and that is in long run. And one good thing is that the injuries which have taken place are all some or have a good recovery period as well. They came quickly, so there wasn't a big window like last time. So there is something which is good going on. But I think so we need to look at the medical team, because we always see same players getting injured at the same areas. So I don't know what are they doing there, because if you're getting injured again and again at the same areas of the body or similar injuries, then either you are giving go ahead very quickly under the pressure, or you are not doing your work properly. Injury has been going on for a long time. So I think so there is something which has to be done. And I think that there is a need for a change. And I was reading that players are also suggesting the same, that they need a new medical team. And Sebastian Kehl has noted this thing. So there would be few changes which would be coming for sure. But when, we don't know. And Basim rightly said that Sule is coming now. He's physically fit. How long he'll survive with us under this condition is something to be understood. It's all intermingled. I think so. Management has to consider injury as a condition now when they're making a decision on transfers as well. It was very bad for them to really think that Zagadou is injured, but he'll come back and he'll take over mid-season, and they didn't buy any centre back. Last season also they thought that the striker situation would be handled by Mukoko. They were depending on him, that he'll pass that age barrier and he'll be a good backup for Haaland. And then they were put on the face when Haaland got injured and Mukoko wasn't performing, so Favre got sacked at that time. So this has to be understood by both of them, and it's all internal work. I think so. I want to see some changes now. It's high time, because injuries are costing us this season again. I think so. We couldn't see anything what coach wanted to do. So, but I'll want to see Basim's reaction or input that earlier also it was the same situation. Klopp changed his Liverpool based on this, even though he's having injuries still. But he made some changes and they won UCL with the fit squad, where they made changes in their medical team. But don't you see that, like, there is a need other than physicality? Yes, it is required again, but it comes to that medical areas only. They need to provide that, right? Input.
And on the injuries, there's two more points. One, the rest. The players need more time for rehabilitation, and which is our league is not like Premier League. Like there will be two matches in a week, but still we will have to play concurrent near matches like in 2 days gap. So at that time we need a team. We need a team where we can change the major players and sub in the young players, not just sub in the where the young players or the bench can really show up on the team. Like we need a just like Sujay said, we need a stronger bench. So who can overpass the when the strong players are just have to bench. Just have to bench. Even we have seen Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo being benched for having the right physicality and to avoid injuries in the matches. But we don't have that much players. We don't have that much experienced players on our bench. We only have like Rainier. I don't know why we have signed him for the. We have been like carrying him for the last 2 years. He's been never we haven't used him properly. I don't think even when he is given the right chance, he hasn't played it properly. And like there are Tigers is never a Haaland replacement. He's not even a 1% of Haaland. I can confirm that. Even and Mauki, and I'm sure Mauki has some potential, but we have to understand the right way to use it, which isn't still right now isn't understood actually. So he needed more playing time, and he needed more more to be work with him, and he's only 70. He's and a center forward. For a center forward on the age of 17, he's strong, but he needs more experience. He like maybe we should have let him play for the under 23 when the more rest days are coming, but we haven't done that. And getting more experience and give like Haaland, Malen, and these players some rest time. And during these matches, we have to really change the team's first 11 on the concurrent matches. So then only we can make sure the players get enough rest time. We know like the football is like running like 10 kilometers, 11 kilometers, or 12 kilometers in 90 minutes. It's like it's so strenuous, and we can't even think about that. Maybe we can run a 10 kilometer for within 1 hour for the first day. We can't do that within the 2 days itself because it is so dangerous and it can cause many injuries. So rest is very important. So for that, just like Sujay said, we need a stronger bench and more shuffle is required. Then about the physical, I have already told we need a more physical team, physically strong. Every player has to be like put up more strength training, like weight training has to be done, and so they can ensure more physical strength. And about the, I can completely blame. I have already told about the medical team, but they have done a good work on the past years. But now there have been so much a long time for Giovanni Reina. We have seen him. We haven't seen him like for the past 6 months. He has been injured for the past 6 months. For the recordable injury and for the record, like there have been many players injured like him, but who has been returned to the ground in like 3 months. So that's a mistake from our team. Like the player who can be returned to the team in 3 months has took like 6 months, and he's completely like even Kehl or even was it Kehl or Zorc? I don't know. I just read an article in which they said like Gio is now entering the team like a new signing or just like a new young player just coming in, and he don't know what to do with the ball. Like he just lost he just lost that for the 6 months. For 6 months he's been only on the treatment. He hadn't used to play, and this causes him so much. So we shouldn't take that much time on the like clearing the injuries on. We have seen on these injuries like I have already told that players with the same injuries of Gio has returned to the club into their club like in 3 months, and we have took it like 6 months. So it's so long. So there will be some mistakes, and there's some spelling mistakes in over there. which has to be cleared. And I think Kehl will find a proper way to disclose that case and find the better for our team.
All right. I think that was very insightful. So, Marco Rosa or Sebastian Kehl, if you're listening to this podcast, you should get in touch with Basim and fly him to Dortmund. I think he has the solution that you need.
I will try to fly to Germany in the coming years so I can work over there and watch the game at the same time.
Absolutely. So, with that, we're done with today's episode. I would like to thank Chirag and Wasim for joining us today. So, on the behalf of Yellow Wall India, I wish that all of you are safe. Keep washing your hands. The pandemic is still not over. Stay safe. And hey, BVB.